Today's video is on the sum and difference of cubes. Here are the formulas for the sum and also for the difference. One thing we're going to be looking at is which term goes where. If you look at the parentheses, the first term is your x, y. Then the second set of parentheses, that x term is squared. The middle term is the two multiplied together, so you have x times y, and then the last term is the y being squared. For the difference of two cubes, you'll notice a very similar pattern. The only difference is the signs. So let's look at the signs. The acronym that's very helpful is SOAP. Same, opposite, always, positive. Okay, and you can see here, as you have x cubed plus y cubed, when you look at that being factored, the original sign is a plus, and in the first set of parentheses is also a plus. So the first sign will always be the same as what the problem is. So if your problem is a difference of cubes, then it will be starting with the minus sign. The second sign is the opposite. So in our example here, it was a plus, so now it's a minus. And then your last sign will always be positive. So same, opposite, always positive. Here's the first problem we're going to look at today. We have 8x cubed minus 27. First thing I need to do is find my cubes. So I have to ask myself, what cubed would get me 8? That will be 2. And what cubed will get me x cubed? It will be x. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. X times x times x is x cubed. Okay, 3 will go in the next set of parentheses because 3 cubed is 27. This is your A. This is your B. Before the formula was written as x and y, it can also be written as A and B. So just to fill that in for you, the first term squared, they're multiplied together, and then the second term is squared. Okay, so when I fill that in, my A term is a 2x, my B term is a 3. We'll go back and do the signs in just a second. Now I have 2x squared. Keep in mind it's both the 2 and also the x being squared. So 2 squared would be 4. X squared will be x squared. A times B, I have 2 times 3 is a 6, and the x. And b squared would be 3 squared, which is 9. Okay, remember we talked about the signs. You're using the acronym SOAP. So same, opposite, always positive. Our original problem has a negative sign, so I have a minus, which is the same as the minus in our original. Then I have the opposite sign, which is a plus, and the last sign is always positive. Okay, so we have 2x minus 3 times 4x squared plus 6x plus 9. Okay, and those are our two factors. Remember, these two can be flip-flopped, so if you have the 4x squared plus 6x plus 9 first, that's fine. And you also can always FOIL this out, which will get you back to the original to check that you are correct. Now let's look at the next problem. We have x cubed plus 9. When you look at this problem, yes, you have the x as cubed. However, there's no value that you can cube to get 9. So this example would be an example of a prime factor. Okay, there's nothing that they have in common, so you can't do GCF. Doesn't have 3 terms, so it's not any of the trinomials. It's not a minus sign, so it's not difference of squares. So this would be an example that would be prime. However, we're here today to look at the cube. So what we're going to do is I'm going to change this problem. So I'm going to change the 9 and make it a 27. So we can look at an example that we can actually do sum of cubes for. All right, so here we go. I'm making my parentheses. I need to figure out what cube would get me x cubed. It should be x. And what cubed will get me 27, which is 3. Okay, again, I'm going to plug in to my formula. So I have AB, A squared, AB, and B squared. Okay, remember the x is your A term. The 3 is your B term. Once I plug those in, A is x, B is 3. A squared would give me x squared. AB will be 3 times x. And B squared would be 3 squared, which is 9. Okay, last thing I need to do is plug in my signs. My signs are the same, so it will be a plus since the original is a plus. Opposite sign, and always positive. All right, and that's the end of our video.